What's up, guys? It's your girl Nose, just checking in with you guys. You guys all know I try to be as helpful as possible, so I'm going to try to be as helpful as possible as always. We have Mercury retrograding through Aries right now as we speak till April 7th. Venus is also retrograding through Aries. We got the double Aries hit right there. That's why you might feel impulsive when it comes to emotions. Most of you are probably very combative, argumentative, which makes sense, you know, because it's Aries. I love you, Aries. You guys know that. And some of you are probably emotional in a sense where you're releasing. And when I say releasing, I mean you're crying. Some of you are probably crying and you're like, why am I crying? Or you want to feel, or you're feeling like you want to cry and you're like, well, why do I feel like I want to cry? Why am I sad all of a sudden? Like, you could be good all day, and then as soon as the sun goes down, you're like, why am I in my feelings? Why am I so sad? What's going on? Nothing is going on. You're okay. You're fine. You're not having an emotional breakdown or nothing like that. This is just you reacting to the planets. This is the side effects of the planets. And depending on what you have in your chart, it will either be very extreme for you or it will be very, surface level for you. So depending again on what you have in your chart, your birth chart, that means. So it's very important to go look in your birth chart and just, kind of go back to seeing what happened during the time period of July 2023 and then go into October of that same year. Then I want you to go to March, April, around this time period of last year. And then go back down, further down into last year, but go into October again. And now come back to where you are. Just pause. If you need to pause me while you're listening and you need to stop. So let's do this again. Go back to July 2023. Think about what happened. Then go to October 2023 and think about what was going on during that time. Then come to March, April of 2024. Then go down to October 2024. And now come back to where you are today. This is all summing up right now for you. Okay, whatever took place, whatever happened, it's all summing up for you right now. If you were letting go of people, you've probably let go of a lot of people at this point. If you were looking at society and thinking that you need to be a part of society, you need to be like society, you're probably thinking differently now. Whatever you were doing, you figured it out. It may not feel like it right now, but this is why you're going through this emotional upheaval. It's because your soul wants you to let go of what took place. Okay. The harsher it's feeling, I'm sorry to say, the more you need to reflect. If you have maybe like, and don't get me wrong, there are some people who do this. I know many people who do this. If you cried for like 15 to 20 minutes, even 30 minutes top, an hour tops, and you were fine after that, you went back to laughing. You went back to like enjoying life. And basically while you were crying, as you peaked in your crying, right? When you peak in your crying and you just kind of like put your hand over your heart and you just sob like a child, that's the peak of crying. That's the peak of hitting your emotional bell in a sense, like, oh, wow, this is really overwhelming. From that point, right? Like say like 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later, or even while you're doing that, you talk to yourself and you say to yourself, hey, listen, relax. It's okay. It happened because it needed to happen. We needed to learn something from it. Now, what did we learn? What did we learn? Did we learn anything? Yeah, we learned that, whatever took place, yeah, it felt good at the moment. It was what we needed at the moment. But now we can apply that to the present moment. Like now we can go back out there And we can do this because we know now what we didn't know back then. You get what I'm saying, guys? And if you're not having that pep talk with yourself, if you're not being that mother, that father for yourself, that's something you really need to work on. That is what some of you guys probably need to sit down and talk with yourself about. You need to be your own cheerleader, number one. Number two, you need to talk yourself down from the ledge sometimes. You get what I'm saying? Most of you really rely on other people too much. And you have to understand, in order to be a healthy, balanced being, you need to do these things for yourself and not expect them to come from other people. You understood? All right. Meaning, so when you were on the ledge of crying at whatever point that this retrograde and this and that is going on, and you talked yourself out of it and said, you know what? It's okay, cry. You need to release this, because some of you need to release this. You've been holding this in for so long that it keeps coming back in waves, and you just kind of like keep pushing the wave away. Like, no, I'm not going to cry. Oh, I'm too this to cry. Oh, I'm better than that. No, sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you really need to just let it out. It's okay. It cleanses your soul. Trust me. It helps, because sometimes that energy that's inside of you, that's stuck, that's stagnant, that's stopping you, blocking you from moving forward, needs to be released. And sometimes the release is in the form of tears, sobs, crying. Let your heart release what it needs to release. So when you feel those tears welling up in your eyes, when you feel your heart in your chest and you're feeling that lump, don't sit there and say to yourself, well, what do we need to cry for? Just cry. If you cannot think of something to cry about, put on something sad. I'm recommending this. Watch something sad. Or picture something in your life. Transmute it. Picture someone proposing to you and how you would cry, right? Picture you having a child and how you would cry. Or picture some happy moment in your life and tell yourself, you know what, this is how I would cry. Oh, if someone was telling me they love me, transmute it. But let it out. You must let it out. You have to let it out. I am telling you and encouraging you and begging you, you need to let it out. Because that is the only way you're going to move forward in this cycle. Okay? Now, for those of you where it's taking you days and days, you probably have Pisces in your chart, and it's fine, or you're more water oriented, it's fine. But for my air signs and my fire signs, you're probably going to cry for like an hour or two, maybe a day at most, and then you'll be back into where you need to be. For my water signs, earth signs, will you even cry? Are you gonna cry, earth signs? Do you even have tears? Like, do you guys have I'm joking, guys. I'm so joking, because I know how earth signs are. I know you guys are really deep and people just don't understand that. Trust me, I do. My hand is up in the air. I get you, brothers and sisters. Earth signs, you guys are probably going to do something in a sense where you're probably going to work out. You're probably going to make more money, but this is the way you do it. You know, you're probably going to have thoughts with yourself, and that's fine. But for the water signs, you guys are going to like probably feel it a little bit more than the rest, because you're naturally emotional, right? So for my water signs, when you get to that point where you keep on crying, you have to talk to yourself and encourage yourself to take this energy and transmute it into something positive. Okay? Write a song. You guys know you're so fucking creative, especially if you have water and fire in your chart. You are very creative. Write a song, do something, choreograph a dance, paint, please do something. Okay. Don't just sit there and cry. It's not healthy. Long time ago, the best advice that was given to me was cry, but cry for a little bit. Okay. Sulk, but sulk for a little bit. Mourn, but mourn for a little bit. Don't get sucked into it, because for you guys, water signs, this is a downward spiral. This entire month has been a downward spiral for you, especially for my Pisces. Happy birthday, by the way, guys. To the Pisceans, happy birthday. Happy birthday. You guys really have to discipline yourself in a sense when it comes to emotions, And I know it sounds harsh, but this is the best way I can explain it to you. You have to be that mom. You have to be that dad. You have to be that person that you look up to for yourself in order for you to talk yourself back from the ledge. Okay. When I'm saying the ledge, I'm talking about the ledge of your feelings. Okay. For my fire signs. Oh my God, my fire signs. You guys are probably going to sit there and be like, well, why am I so fucking sad? Like, what the fuck? Why? Sorry for my language, guys. This is 18 and over, okay? So if you have children, please put them away. Put your children away. Put them to sleep or something. Or listen to it when they're not around. When they're not around. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm laughing too hard. Oh, I almost lost my voice right there. Fire signs. You're good at transmuting this energy. So when you feel like crying, sit there and think about, like, how would it feel to meet someone that you really, really care about, or meeting the love of your life, or meeting that person, and just do it in a way where you transmute it into positive energy. Like, you would cry blank. You know what I mean? Like, you would, when you're the most happiest and you cry tears of joy, fire signs, transmute it into that. Okay. And if you do need to take a walk down memory lane, it's fine. You can do that right now. Mercury retrogrades are all about taking a walk down memory lane. But when we take a walk down memory lane, we need to come back, and we need to come back into reality. So it's okay if you think about that ex, 9 times out of 10, that ex is thinking about you. I normally don't like to say that, but this time around, with the way things are going, especially Venus retrograding in Aries and Mercury retrograde in Aries, yes, if you are thinking about that certain ex, that ex is thinking about you as well too. If you were really connected, I'm talking about in the sense where connecting, soul connecting, and when I talk about soul connection, it's not like, oh, when we met, it was such a connection. I'm talking about looking at both of your birth charts, like your birth chart and your ex's birth chart. If they have a Mercury in Pisces or a Mercury in water, they're probably sending out a signal to you, meaning they're thinking about you and you're picking up on it. So if you thought about your ex today, or whatever the time period is going on, or whenever you hear this, especially before April 7th, you're not crazy. You're not delulu. Your ex is thinking about you. That person that you're thinking about and got sad all of a sudden, that person is thinking about you because they're thinking about you and they're sad. Okay. If you're listening to songs, if you're intuitive and, you get messages from songs and you're hearing a lot of sad songs, the universe is not telling you to be sad. The universe is basically sharing with you that this person that is thinking about you is really missing you and probably crying over you. And that's why you're feeling the sadness, because you have to understand Mercury placements in water placements in Mercury, right? You guys ever notice something that I always say things backwards? It's because I speak a different language, and in my language, Punjabi and Urdu, when we speak, we kind of say certain things backwards. You know what I mean? So please forgive me for that. I don't have dyslexia. I really don't. It's just that I speak another language and we say things differently. So speaking English kind of like, totally obliviates my mind. So anyways, when you have Mercury in a water placement, like so a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, you have the ability to project. You have the ability to, when you think about someone, that person will feel it. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So if your ex has that placement, right, you're definitely probably feeling it. You're feeling it. If you don't believe me, pull your cards out, ask your cards. Does my ex think about me? Or is my ex thinking about me? It will probably say yes. You can ask, did my ex miss me? It will probably say yes. Is my ex missing me currently? Yes, they are. They are. It doesn't matter if it's been 10 years, 15 years, whoever pops into your head and you have a string of sadness behind it, like a pearl string of sadness kind of like attached to it, 9 times out of 10, they are thinking about you. And they're probably feeling really like regretful in the case of, whatever happened in between you two. Does this mean you pick up the phone and you call them? No, absolutely not. Take your fingers away from that phone, girl. Boy, stop. Stop it. I'm gonna smack you. This doesn't mean you call them. This doesn't mean you interject into their life. You both are growing up from what happened between you two. Okay? So a little word of advice. Just feel it. Trust me, you'll be fine afterwards. You don't need to pick up the phone and call them. You don't need to do anything. I know you're probably feeling that pull, that longing, that yearning feeling that you're missing something. It's fine. It'll pass. Promise you. It'll pass. Okay? Go for a run. Go take a shower. Go watch something funny. Take your mind off of it. And you will definitely, You won't think about it again. You won't, not that you won't think about it again, you won't feel that longing, that yearning. It'll probably hit you for a second because you two are connecting. And that yearning, that longing, that sadness that you're feeling, that confusion, that empathy, that frustration, that surprise, that excitement, whatever you're feeling, you're literally feeling them. Okay? Like I said, if they have that in their chart. Okay? And especially if you have that in your chart, and it's conjuncting both of your charts together. That's why I tell you guys, be careful who you date. Look at their birth chart. It's very important because you don't know what kind of nonsense you're going to get yourself into. But some connections are fated. Some connections are ill-fated in a sense where you're meant to meet them, but you're meant to part ways, right? Some connections are where you're meant to meet them and you're meant to part ways from them because you learned something. Just always remember something. If a connection is fated in a sense where it's a abundant connection, it's an auspicious connection, the connection won't ever go anywhere. You will still be in each other's lives regardless. Maybe you're not together all the time, but you will find ways to run into this person. Okay, remember I talked about the oh, I forgot what it was. It was a theory of meeting someone again. And again, like the meeting someone twice theory or running into someone, you have to understand that it's a rare coincidence where you run into people, because I'm telling you, if universe does not want you to see someone, you will be living next door to that person and you will never see them if the universe does not want you to interact. But if the universe wants you to interact, right, for whatever reason, maybe it's learning a lesson, maybe it's doing something for them or them doing something to you, either of you two being a catalyst or you two coming together and solidifying something, the universe always has a grand plan behind whatever they do. Okay, so right now what's going on is that connection that you're feeling is basically, it's more, it's what's the word I want to use, it's more heightened. Okay, so if out of the blue you're feeling sad or you're craving something, you're missing someone, do not pick up the phone and call them because it's Mercury retrograde. You know, just leave it alone. Why you're gonna be like, well, then why is this happening? I'm gonna tell you why this is happening, Lisa. This is why it's happening. The universe wants you to do inventory. It's probably something that's still open-ended for you in your subconscious and in your heart that you need to close out. So this time period is the best time period to do that. Cry, get it out of your system. If you need to go look at old pictures, go look at old pictures. If you need to go listen to old songs that you and such used to listen to, do that, but get it out of your system. Once you get it out of your system, finally lock the box and throw it away. Mercury retrograde does this only on purpose. You know why? Because they want you to get over it. And I know how it sounds. It sounds so harsh, get over it. And then I'm the same person who teaches you that, you know, you'll get over it when it's your time to get over it. But the universe will keep on helping you to try to get over it. Because it always gives you a choice. You can either sit there or you can get up and move on. It's like the train theory. The train is there on the platform. You're sitting there waiting on that train. Train shows up. It's your choice whether you want to get on that train or not. If not, there's a next train coming. Within another 40 minutes to 30 minutes or an hour or whatever the case is, whatever the schedule is of that train, another one is going to show up. That's why I always give that example. If you are not learning from me, you don't need to hop on my train. You can just wait for the train that's coming for you, meaning you can just wait for the person that you can learn from, that you can understand from. You get what I'm saying? I always say that, and I never take it offensively if you say to me, I'm not understanding you and I'm not getting you. It's absolutely fine. You can find someone else to help you understand what is it that you need to understand. This is why it's beautiful to live in this world where you can get answers from so many different doors. It doesn't have to come from one. It all depends on how comfortable you feel. Okay? So with that being said, just pay attention to how you are feeling. Okay? Put yourself first, because we're talking about Aries here. Aries is all about putting themselves first, thinking about yourself first. This is why it's so imperative that the Venus is in Aries retrograding. Because for once, it's really looking at everything and it's saying, wait a minute. I remember the Venus retrograde in Leo that we had. Do you remember that? I know you guys don't. I know you didn't forget that. As much as I talk about that, as much as I bring it up, there's a reason. Because now it's in Aries. Now it's saying, how do I want to love? What makes me happy? What makes me feel good? What really gets my fire going? Before in Leo, it was more like, well, how do I like to be loved? How do I like to be cherished? How do I like to be admired? how am I receiving love? Am I being loved? Now it's, I better be being loved or not. You know, if not, you need to take your half heart back. Either you're giving me your whole heart or you're not. You know, because there's other people out here who want me. You ain't the only one. So you better prove to me. Because, you know, Aries, that competition. Get it? You better prove to me you're the one. You better show me the money. Some of you Aries are saying that. Show me the money. But all in all, it's basically asking you to choose yourself. So hence, that's why I'm saying don't pick up the phone and call your ex. Because choose yourself. If they really love you and care about you, you know where this is going. They will come find you. Sometimes you need to respond and not initiate. There's a little if you ever book a session with me, there's something I will teach you. It's called don't initiate, respond. When you respond to things that the universe brings to you, it's because the universe brought them to you. When you initiate, you're going and picking and choosing, and that's why it doesn't work right. Because you're initiating, you're picking and choosing. Let the universe do it for you. Let the universe bring up a situation in front of your face, and then you respond to it. Either you initiate with it or you don't. But that's how you're responding. Situation arises, do you initiate, do you respond, or do you walk away? That's also how we treat karmic cycles and contracts in our life, guys. You know, you have every free will to enter into a contract if you want to or not. You decide it. Meaning, you know when you date someone and you know it's going to be shit and you still end up dating them? You did it. You did it. Your intuition told you. Your gut told you. No, don't do this. Don't do this. But then you said, you know what? I'm bored. I'm so bored. I'm going to do this for the plot. Yeah. You see where the plot got you now? You in the thick of it. Oh my God. But yeah, so just hanging tight. Like I said, just hold on tight to them railings, okay? As one of my favorite artists would say, hold on tight to them railings. It's gonna be a rough ride, guys. Actually, it's really not. It all depends on how the type of driver you are. Oh my God. It all depends on what kind of driver you are, what kind of rider you are. You know, some of you guys are veterans in this. This is not your first rodeo. So you guys know what to do. For those of you, for the babies, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. Sometimes you're still a baby in some senses. So for the babies out there that are tuning in and they're new to all of this and all of that, just let it go. Best thing you could do, best advice I can give you is just let it go. Let the emotions take over. But then also tell the emotions, now you guys can go. Okay? And then always remember, if you're confused about if it's your feelings or not your feelings, you know, some of you are going to be like, well, I don't really care about my ex, you know, blah, blah, blah. Totally get you. Totally get you. So if you're feeling what they're feeling, because sometimes they're at least one person that you've dated, you will think about them during this time. Okay? Especially if they meant a lot to you. What you want to say at that point is, universe, if these feelings are not mine, please take them and send them back to where they're coming from, wrapped in peace, love, and light. All right, one more time. Universe, if these feelings are not mine, please return them back to whomever they're coming from, wrapped in peace, love, light. That's it. So now you can send those feelings back to them, but you're sending them back with like a little bit of love, a little bit of peace, a little bit of light, so they can find their closure as well too. Will they find it? You just will never know. But you don't need to be picking up the phone and calling them. Please don't go stalk them. You just leave it alone, okay? You deal with it on your end by crying, letting it out, exercising, working out, playing, you know, music, dancing, whatever it is, painting, being creative, doing content, whatever it is that you do. When you transmute feelings like that into positivity, that's what you need to do. Excuse me. Okay? All right, guys. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are healthy. If you have any questions, you need help with anything, please let me know in the comments. Please reach out to me. Book a session with me if you would like to. If you want me to get a little bit, you know, like more detail oriented with your chart and whomever's chart that you're thinking about at the moment, I can do that for you. But all in all, just put yourself first and take care of yourself. Okay? And again, we do this all the time. We've been doing this. Our souls are used to this. Our bodies just have forgotten because these are new bodies that were given to us during this lifetime. But the soul is the same soul that we've always had. So it knows. Ask your soul. Tell your soul to take the lead. Okay? And then just follow. All right? Bye, guys. I love you. Take care.